Vedic Anatomy. The Vedas are believed to be the founding stones of the Hindu religion. But Hinduism, as a religion, was not in existence when the Vedas were created. However, they are the founding stones of Hindu, Indus, or Sindhu culture, which predates Hinduism. The Hindu religion claims the Vedas as its scripture, whereas the original owners were the ancient people of Hindu, Indus culture, and their descendants. Vedas are classified into the Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Samaveda, and Atharva Veda. Ayurveda was sidelined due to prevailing religious beliefs and is considered non-religious even though it stems mainly from the Atharva Veda. Rig Veda contains mantras to invoke the devas for fire sacrifices. Yajur Veda contains prose commentaries on various rituals. Samaveda contains chants for fire sacrifices. Atharva Veda contains descriptions of various semi-magical spells against enemies and warns against mistakes made during yagnas. The Vedas are said to contain two portions, mantra or samhita, with 3 layers of commentaries incorporated within them called Brahmanas, Aranyakas, and Upanishads. Brahmanas contain mystical explanations of mantras. Aranyakas contain instructions for yagnas and fire sacrifices. Upanishads contain highly philosophical and metaphysical writings about the nature of and the relationship between the soul, Atman, and the divine, Brahma. Early Hinduism was mostly reliant on the 4 Vedas. Classical Hinduism covers everything from yoga and Vedanta to Tantra and Bhakti streams, centered upon the Upanishads. The word Vedanta can be split into Veda plus Anta, where Anta in Tamil means end or closure or separation. Thus, Hinduism has severed its relationship with Vedas based on certain incompatibilities such as the caste system and ritual sati. The concept of God has also changed over time. In other words, God has been changed from time to time, according to the whims and fancies of contemporary religious leaders. Basically, religious belief has deviated from the Vedas and deserted them over time. Today, mantras are only chanted but not followed or practiced. The Vedas are said to be full of mysticism and allegory. The very sound of Vedic mantras is considered as purifying by many Hindus. Hence, the rigor in learning the right pronunciation. Questions arise on what the correct pronunciation is and who is correctly pronouncing it. The rigorous oral tradition of transmitting the Vedas has helped in its preservation, even though the rituals and practices in it have changed or been abandoned. During the Vedic period or later period, the great epics Mahabharata and Ramayana were said to have been created by Veda Vyasa. Bhagavad Gita is a part of Mahabharata. Some believe that it was added on during a later period. It is said that sage Veda Vyasa also created 18 Mahapuranas, which are divided into 3 major divisions, and each division contains 6 Puranas under them. The 3 major divisions are Brahma Puranas, Vishnu Puranas, and Shiva Puranas. These texts are estimated to be created around 500 BC to 400 BC. Even though they contain references to the Neolithic era, which was in existence between 9000 to 7000 BC, the Puranas were purely based on the Vedic texts Rig, Yajur, Sama, Atharva, and Ayurveda. The Brahma Puranas consist of Brahma Purana, Brahmanda Purana, Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Markandeya Purana, Bhavishya Purana, and Vamana Purana. Brahma Purana may be about human cells. Brahmanda Purana may be about germ cells and genes. Brahma Vairavarta Purana should be read as Brahma Vaivarta Purana, tells how a cell is made or molded. Markandeya Purana relates to genes since Markandeya means ever youthful. Bhavishya Purana must be about worldly knowledge through human eyes and the eyes of the spermheads. Vamana Purana refers to germ cells. The Vishnu Puranas consist of Vishnu Purana, Bhagavata Purana, Narayana Purana, Garuda Purana, Batma Purana, and Varaha Purana. Vishnu is the ladies' man, and accordingly, the Vishnu Purana is devoted to female constituents and its function. Bhagavata Purana, the division or movement of organs and their development. Narayana Purana relates to neurons and messenger cells. Garuda Purana is about hormones, etc. This Purana is mostly recited in a house when somebody dies, as if there is no use for this Purana. Padma Purana about female genitals and their functions. Varaha Purana, enlargement of organs, especially female organs. The Shiva Puranas consist of Vayu Purana, Linga Purana, Skanda Purana, Agni Purana, Matsya Purana, and Kurma Purana. Vayu Purana concerns muscle movements, etc. Linga Purana, the surging of blood in and around sexually sensitive areas. Skanda Purana, about male sperm, etc. Agni Purana, female organs and their development and functions. Matsya Purana, about male sperm head, tail formation, and its function. Kurma Purana, sexual stimulation and the male and female union. The texts of all these 18 Puranas are interconnected and have connections to the Ramayana and Mahabharata. The Puranas are not a compilation or random collection of ancient stories. It is a highly crafted or interwoven presentation of a particular knowledge or view. What is that knowledge or view? Can we call it a vision of sages? Hinduism considers that the Vedas are about God and spiritual teachings, even though Hindus deviate from its writings. Contrary to their belief, the Indus Valley civilization did not have any temples or monuments. There was no religion in existence, only the Hindu culture. They were a highly sophisticated and cultured society. Ancient Indians were good in science and technology like mathematics, medicines, astronomy, physics, agriculture, trade, and manufacturing. Knowledgeable in metallurgy, architecture, and engineering, and shipbuilding, and were more interested in socio-civic culture than mysticism. How could a cultured society create and pass on something that was neither believed in nor practiced by them? The refinements of the Indus Valley civilization would have taken many years to achieve, and I wondered why they would bequeath something of an unscientific nature when they were a highly sophisticated and cultured society. The Indus culture was concerned with human health, physical health, mental health, family health, healthy relationships in society, and with the country at large. It did not exist to talk about spirituality and mysticism alone, but Hinduism talks of spiritualism alone, after bundling all scientific knowledge into a corner. To me, the Vedas look like a medical or general encyclopedia that is encrypted or camouflaged either to save it from unwanted elements or to facilitate easy remembrance, generation after generation. It is an undisputed fact that Ayurveda was accepted as an authentic medical treatise, which was, in fact, created during the same period that the other four Vedas were created. Ayurveda is also based on one of the four Vedas, Atharva Veda. Whatever has been said to be found by modern medicine was already there in the Vedic and Puranic texts. 18 Mahapuranas were believed to be written by sage Vedavyasa Krishnadvaipayana. The term Vedavyasa is said to be a title for a person who has compiled sacred texts. But it is not even a title. Veda means knowledge or text, and Vyasa means compiler or arranger. Thus, Vedavyasa means the division or arrangement in a format of knowledge. The Puranas explain the Veda Vyasa's name was Krishna, since he was dark in complexion and since he was born on an island, Dvaipayana. This can also be interpreted in another way. Krishna means dark, Dvipa means island, Payana means travel. Thus, Krishna Dvaipayana means travel among the dark or unknown islands of the human body. What are these dark islands? Each organ of the human body that is covered by the skin is known as dark or unknown island. Thus, each Puranic text is dedicated to explaining each part or organ of the human body, which is understood differently by later generations. In the Tamil language, God is called Kadavul. Kadavul is made of two words, Kadavu, Ul, where Kadavu means hole or gap and Ul means inside. Thus, Kadavul means inside the hole. What is inside the hole? Let us make or find a hole in human body and look laparoscopic view through it. There are 9 passages in the human body. What do we see there? Precisely, we can see all organs inside the human body. Another Tamil word for Kadavul is Andavan, which is made up of Anda or Anda plus Vana, where Anda or Anda refers to ovum, female egg, and the Vana refers to ovary, means forest, where ovum is grown or developed. Tamil and Sanskrit languages have played a major role in developing ancient medical knowledge. East has been traveling towards the west, meaning the rest of India was moving towards the Indus Valley settlement, as against the long-standing belief of the west moving towards the east. History says that Tolkapiyam, a Tamil grammar book, was written by Tolkapiyar. This cannot be true. Tul means ancient and comes from Tonmai. Kapiyam means compendium of work. It should have been composed by somebody, and that somebody has been named imaginarily as Tolkapiyar. Tirukkural the book was written by Thiruvalvar. This follows the same pattern as above. The author's name must be imaginary. To date, we believe that these authors exist by these names since we have been told so many times. But it is not true. We do not know whether these books were written by a male or female, whether by a single person or a group of compilers. Stories have been written and propagated, and we follow suit blindly. These are stories by unknown ancient writers, and for easy identification, we have named them accordingly. The 4 Vedas and related Puranic stories talk about human anatomy, the functions of each organ, the relationship between organs, the curing of their malfunctions, and more. This health information is clearly spelt out but seems to be encrypted to make it look like an ordinary story, which is propagated as a story of gods by religious believers. This encryption is called anthropomorphism, which was widely prevalent during 500 BC to 400 BC, the periods when the Vedic texts were created or compiled. Vedic texts seem to be treatises on anatomy, histology, physiology, and so on. I try my level best to explain this in the following chapters and may need more research to clearly understand the entire teachings of the Vedas. The interpretations of Vedic texts by religious believers are far from reality. Each of the Puranic stories names trees, plants, flowers, seeds, animals, etc., which are related to specific organs of the human body. These are medicinal plants that nourish or cure specific parts of the body. Some of the plants are identified by modern scientists, and many are not understood. I make a simple attempt to bring out the nexus between the plants and the human body so that Ayurvedic researchers may explore their potential. The fire sacrifices mentioned in Vedic texts are nothing but metabolic activities in the human body. And there are different kinds of fire sacrifice activities for different kinds of outputs, such as cell growth, tissue growth, organ growth, sexual stimulation, sexual intercourse, fetus development, and so on. The list is a never ending one. The entire human body is considered as universe, space one of five basic elements by Vedic texts, and has been divided into three major divisions. These three major Puranic divisions can be compared to the three basic germ layer divisions of modern medicine, which happen at the time of human fertilization and the subsequent growth of the human body out of those three divisions. The germ layer divisions are known as ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm. Ectoderm broadly relates to cells, the brain, and the nervous system. Endoderm broadly relates to the digestive system, endocrine system, etc. Mesoderm broadly relates to procreative organs, reproductive systems, and their functions. There exists a certain overlapping of these layers in the development of some organs, which is natural. Attempts have been made to explain these three major bodily divisions through 18 Mahapuranic stories, which are also divided into three major divisions, namely Brahma Puranas, Vishnu Puranas, and Shiva Puranas. Each of these major Puranic divisions consists of 6 Puranas. Brahma Puranas, along with the 6 Puranic texts, attempt to explain the first germ layer division, namely ectoderm, cell, brain, nervous system, etc., of the body or universe. Vishnu Puranas, with its 6 Puranic texts, attempt to explain the second germ layer division, namely endoderm, digestive, endocrine systems, etc., of the body or universe. Shiva Puranas and its 6 Puranic texts attempt to explain the third germ layer division, namely the mesoderm, procreative system, etc., of the body or universe. Puranic texts have utilized all possible materials, plants, animals, and planets that are available on the earth and universe to explain the ancient knowledge of medicine through anthropomorphic stories. By doing this, they have not only explained ancient medical concepts, but have brought in other scientific and geographical information about ancient India. Puranic stories start from a forest known as Naimisharanya, where a yagna was arranged by sages and went on for 12 years. Naimisharanya, Aranya means forest, refers to ovaries where the ovum, female egg, is produced. 12 years is the average age of a female to attain puberty. Puranas refers to the ovum as a golden egg, and Brahma was born inside that egg. Puranas considered Brahman and Brahma, two separate entities where Brahman refers to germ cell and Brahma refers to body cells. Brahma remained inside the egg for 1 whole year, splitting the egg into two, creating heaven, germ cell or gametes, and earth, body or somatic cells, from 2 parts of the egg. This is called fertilization. During fertilization, the female egg or ovum undergoes lots of changes, producing a cluster of cells called cell cycles or cell division. One such change is called gastrulation. During gastrulation, cells migrate and form into 2, diploblastic, or 3, triploblastic, germ layers. In the human body, the formation is 3, triploblastic, germ layers. Ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm are those 3 germ layers. Each of these germ layers develops, becomes, and forms 3 major body divisions as discussed in the previous paragraphs. Vedic texts and Puranic stories consider these happenings as Trinity in their own way. A separate god has been allocated to each of these major portions, medically recognized as germ layers. Thus, the Trinity gods are Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, who are otherwise equivalent to these 3 germ layers. Vedic and Puranic stories have created innumerable characters who are representatives of various human organs and systems. Many of the major characters that were created are considered gods and worshipped. Ectoderm, Vata Pradhan, as per Ayurveda, emerges first, and tissues are formed from the outermost part of this germ layer. These tissues result in skin, hair, nails, teeth, eyes, spinal cord, brain, and nervous system of a human being. Such kind of division would have been made by Puranic texts and is allocated to the Trinity God called Brahma.
Brahma is different from Brahman. Brahman is a germ cell, whereas Brahma is a body cell.
6 Brahma Puranas, namely Brahma Purana, Brahmanda Purana, Brahma Vairavatta Purana, Markandeya Purana, Bhavishya Purana, and Vamana Purana, explain the development of respective organs and their functions. Endoderm, Kapha Pradhan, as per Ayurveda, is one of the germ layers that results in the formation of gastrointestinal tract, respiratory tract, endocrine glands, and organs such as the liver, pancreas, etc. Such kind of division would have been made by Puranic texts and is allocated to the Trinity God called Vishnu. 6 Vishnu Puranas, namely Vishnu Purana, Bhagavata Purana, Naradaya Purana, Garuda Purana, Padma Purana, and Varaha Purana, explain the development of respective organs and their functions. Mesoderm, Pitta Pradhan as per Ayurveda, is more complex, where the cells migrating to form the endoderm also form an additional layer between the endoderm and ectoderm. The formation of the mesoderm leads to the formation of coelom. Organs formed inside a coelom can freely move, grow, and develop independently of the body wall, while fluid cushions and protects them from shocks. Mesoderm results in the formation of bones, muscles, circulatory system, heart, blood vessels, urinary system, reproductive system, excretory system, inner skin layer, and so on. Such kind of division would have been made by Puranic texts and is allocated to the Trinity God called Shiva. 6 Shiva Puranas, namely Vayu Purana, Linga Purana, Skanda Purana, Agni Purana, Matsya Purana, and Kurma Purana, explain the development of the respective organs and their functions. Modern medicine does not divide medical concepts or texts on this 3 gem layer basis, but it recognizes those gem layers at an early stage and divides the medical text according to each major organ. Contrary to these, Vedic texts have divided the human body into 3 parts called Trinity. In line with this, the ancient diagnosis and treatments were also divided into 3: Vata, air; Pitta, fire;
And Kaba, water. Under Ayurvedic treatment, all human ailments are classified into these 3 categories and treated accordingly.
Vata means and refers to air, also called Vayu, meaning wind. All these terms, Vata, air, and Vayu, wind, refers to movements of the human body. Body movement mainly stems from the nervous system, which is related to the brain, and the god in charge of that is Brahma. Pitta refers to fire, known as Agni, and is always associated with Shiva, who is said to have the third eye. Pitta also refers to the pituitary gland, which is instrumental to all procreative activities and releases or activates many hormones in the human body to that effect. The pituitary gland is situated in the thalamus of the brain, which is considered Kailash, the abode of Shiva. Kaba means and refers to water. About 65% of the human body mass contains water, and it is a must for its maintenance. This represents or refers to the digestive system. Dehydration affects bodily functions. Digestive and its related systems are attached to Vishnu, who is known as the preserver. These 3 major Puranic divisions are made known through the story of Vali, Bali, or Mahabali. The medical term for this Vali is Villi.
Villi, known as chorionic villi,
Stems from the chorion to give a maximum area of contact with the maternal blood. The embryonic blood travels all over the villi through umbilical arteries to discharge toxic waste and takes back oxygen through umbilical veins.
to the placenta.
The umbilical cord and placenta are connected to the uteruses, personified as Vishnu. This fetal blood circulation is unique to pregnant women only. These villi may be personified as Anuman in Ramayana, Mahabali or Vali or Bali, descendant of Prahalad, was an Asura king who was also a Vishnu devotee. He was also known as Indrasena. Indrasena may mean the army of Indra. Indra refers to Indriyam, a seminal fluid. He expanded his kingdom and conquered the Swarga, Su plus Varga. Swarga refers to the uterus since it is a place where future generations are created.
Who are known as Varga, the descendants.
Devas, the inhabitants of Swarga, complained and requested Vishnu to restore the habitat Swarga. Human genes are considered Devas. Vishnu told them that he could not fight with Vali because he was his devotee. Meanwhile, Vali was preparing to conduct an Ashwamedha Yagna, medically equivalent to metabolic activities. During the Ashwamedha Yagna, as per prevalent customs, kings could not refuse anything asked for by Brahmins.
Vishnu decided to use his yagna to achieve his mission of getting back Swarga for the Devas.
Vali's guru, Shukracharya, warned Vali of Vishnu's plot, but Vali decided to give Vishnu whatever he asked for. Vishnu, who was disguised as a dwarf, asked Vali to give him 3 paces, feet of land. Vali granted the request. Dwarf Vishnu then grew to a giant size and measured the whole world by setting 1 foot on Yagasala, another foot on Brahmaloka. Having covered all earthly lands and heavenly lands, the dwarf asked Vali for a place to set his 3rd foot. Humbled, Vali knelt before Vishnu, showing his back for him to place the 3rd foot. The said 3 feet are ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm. Ectoderm refers to Brahmaloka, where somatic cells, body cells, develop and multiply. Endoderm refers to Yagasala, which consists of digestive and endocrine systems. Mesoderm refers to Vali's back, where bones and muscles are available. Circulatory, urinary, and procreative systems. Even though Mahabali is considered a person, in Tamil, Mahabali means great sacrifice. United male and female gametes make a great sacrifice to create the foundation stones, germ layers of the human body. Having given everything to Vishnu, Vali has no place to stay in this world. Fetus development moves into the next stage inside the womb, where organs develop out of the 3 germ layers. Vali was allowed to visit this land, kingdom, once a year, which refers to the repetitiveness of conception. When a baby is delivered from the womb, the female is ready for another conception, where Vali will appear again to be met by Vishnu with the same request of 3 feet. The story will again be reenacted. Vali is remembered by a festival called Onam, which is celebrated by the people of Kerala in India,
irrespective of their caste and creed.
Kerala, known as God's own country, has adopted Vali or Mahabali or Bali as their icon in line with the practice of each state adopting individual Puranic stories as their state celebration. The major difference between the other states of India and Kerala is that a festival out of the Puranas is celebrated in Kerala irrespective of religious attachments. Ancient people who initiated these festivities must have understood the non-religious attachments, and it is correctly followed by the people of Kerala even today. Romaharshana, Lomaharshana, the disciple of Vedavyasa, imaginary person, is said to have narrated all the stories in the Puranas. Interestingly, the human brain has 3 portions called rhombencephalon, hindbrain, mesencephalon, and prosencephalon. Thus, Romaharshana, Lomaharshana refer to the rhombencephalon, hindbrain. Rhombencephalon is connected to the embryonic development of an organism and the developmental biology of the central nervous system. cell growth, and differentiation in vertebrates. Thoughts in human beings are formed and expressed through the brain system only. It is perfectly correct that the Puranic stories have a beginning with Romaharshana or Lomaharshana, who is considered all knowing. The root word for rhombencephalon is the Greek word
Rhombus.
It is also the root word for rhombus, a parallelogram with four equal sides along with or without a right angle. Generally, when we speak of all four sides, we mean from all the places in the world. This can be found in the word news, north, east, west, and south. Thus, Puranic stories have been born out of the best ancient brain and are told for the benefit of all people of this world. Lomaharshana should have been pronounced as Lokaharshana. Loka or Lok means world or people of the world. Harsh or Harshana means to please or to be pleased or to be happy or pleasure. Tamil word Karishanam or Harishanam also means soft corner for somebody to please or to make somebody happy or pleasure. Thus, Lomaharshana or Lokharshana may mean to please the people of this world or make the people of this world happy through good health. There are innumerable religions in this world. Hinduism is also considered a religion, but many feel it is the way of life of Indian people. All religions except Hinduism accept or propagate the one God policy. Hinduism alone has battalions of gods. The relationships between these so called gods are well defined in Vedic scriptures. This is one of the main reasons many people ridicule the Vedas and undermine their importance, not relating to spiritual concepts to humanity. Vedic scriptures consider each organ or part of the human body as a separate god, demigod, demon,
Rakshasa, Asuras, etc.
and hence the relationships. Their fighting and friendships.
refer to the functioning of these human organs.
Brahman is the creator of the universe, and so is the human germ cell. Brahma is the human body cell, who is an agent of Brahman, also considered a creator who continues the work of Brahman. The stories of the six Brahma Puranas have a close nexus with human embryology, cell culture, tissue development, organ development, and its functions, relationship with other organs, etc. Those stories relating to Brahma are discussed under respective chapters.
Along with their nexus to human anatomy.
Vishnu is the preserver of the universe. The stories of the six Vishnu Puranas have a close nexus with the human body's digestive, endocrine, and immunity systems and the maintenance of various organs of the human body. Those stories relating to Vishnu are discussed under respective chapters along with their nexus to human anatomy. Shiva is the destroyer as well as the creator of the universe. The stories of the six Shiva Puranas have a close nexus with human procreative activities and the functions of the organs related to it. Shiva refers to human blood, which is essential for the survival of human beings. Blood cells are different from other body cells, and the blood cells are attached to Shiva rather than Brahma. Hence, Shiva is also a creator. The stories of Shiva Puranas narrate or bring out the blood's relationship
To each human organ and its functions.
Each Puranic story explains in detail a particular part of human anatomy, physiology, functions, and relationships among body organs. Those are explained in the later chapters of this book. Puranas, created out of the four Vedas, stipulates the definition for Mahapurana. The texts of the Mahapurana must exhibit 5 characteristics of Panchalakshana to be called a Mahapurana. Every medical text also must contain certain basic information and it should be in some order. These qualities are explained in the Puranas. And the information needs to be properly analyzed to find their specific correlation.
In the medical context.
The Panchalakshanas are Sarga, The original creation of the universe, human body. Each text should contain details about its creation. How does a single cell develop into an organ? Here, the cell may be a germ cell or a somatic cell. Pratisarga, the cycle of destruction and recreation. In any human organ, cells are constantly replicated, and new cells are created at periodical intervals. And it should be explained in the text. Prati means copy or duplication, medically referred to as replication. Surya Vamsha, Chandra Vamsha, histories of solar dynasty and lunar dynasty. The text should specify whether the organ relates to male or female. Surya means male and Chandra means female. X and Y chromosomes play a role here. Manvantara, the various eras. Manvantara comes from the word Manu, meaning cell or atom. Tara means flow. Thus, Manvantara means the flow of development of different kinds of cells. The text should specify the periodical development of each organ and its cells. Vamshanucharita, the royal genealogy. The text should contain genetic information about the organ. Vamsha means family. Anu or Manu is a cell. Charita means history. Thus, Vamshanucharita broadly means the history of cell. Histology in medical terms. Hinduism always talks about 5 elements, Panchapudam or Buddha of life. They are water, fire, air, earth,
and space.
Ayurveda also considers water, fire, and air as the 3 major constituents of the human body. Ayurvedic treatments are based on these 3 elements and are termed Vata, air, Pitta, fire, and Kaba, water. Bhu or Bhu means born or earth. Space is otherwise called the universe. Why should not the 5 elements, Panchabhuta, be the 5 Vedas, Rig, Yajur, Sama, Atharva, and Ayur? Medicines, especially ancient medicines,
Are all about the birth and maintenance of human beings.
there is a Tamil saying, Andathil ulladallam pindathil undu, which means whatever is available in the universe is available in the human body or human embryo. Andam means universe. Pindam means human body or human embryo. The saying is true to the core. The human body, anatomy and health has been explained through the available material, plants, animals, and planets in this universe. Hinduism has imbued mystical or spiritualistic meanings to the saying. Many human organs are related to or otherwise called by the various names of the planets, which bring out the nexus or similarities between organs, planets, and their constituents. In other words, any of the plants can be understood by looking into the composition and functions of the human organ, which is named after that planet. Fertilization happens when the sperm enters the ovum and fuses within. In Tamil language, shul or shul, sulam, refers to pregnancy or conception. The fused egg moves into a stage called zygote, which is known as Swayambhu Manu in Puranic stories. Swayambhu Manu, zygote, can develop into a baby on its own. As per the Puranas, Brahmanda, egg or Swayambhu Manu, split into 2 Swarga, heaven, germ cell born at the time of union, called from the primordial cell at the yolk sac, and Prithvi, body or somatic cell. Creation of 3 germ layers is known as Tirisul or Tirisulam in Puranic stories. Tirisul or Tirishula is generally translated as trident, the 3-pronged weapon, which is an error. 3 in the word Tirisul does not mean tri or 3. 3. Tiri அல்லது திரிந்த refers to the developed or processed situation of an egg which has fused with the sperm. One of the germ layers, ectoderm, refers to Brahma, who initially had 7 sons known as Saptashis, Chitrasikandis. They stay in the Ursa Major constellation known as the Great Bear. These 7 stars are called ladle, spoon. This ladle moves around when the globe moves, and the pole star remains in its place. A ladle's position in 4 directions is the pictorial depiction of a man running, known as the swastika symbol. All these stars represent the organs that are developed during the early stages of a fertilized female egg. Marichi, a celestial woman created from the eyes of Brahma, known as a ray of light. Marichi's son is Kashyap. In some places, Marichi is replaced by Bhrigu. Atri married Anasuya. Soma, Durvasa, and Dattatreya were born from the tears of Atri. Atri may represent sweat glands, etc. Angira is born out of Brahma's mouth. Angi means cloth, and Anga means body. Angira may refer to skin, etc. Pulastya is born out of Brahma's ear, Karna. Kubera and Ravana are associated with him. They may be associated with genitals. Pulaha, Ashtaprakriti. His wife is Shama, daughter of Daksha and Prasuti, who is one of the daughters of Swayambhu Manu. Zygote and Sataruva. Pulaha had 3 sons, Kardama, Urvarivan, and Sahishnu. Later, they had one more son, Karmasrestha. Butterflies, lions, tigers, lambs, bulls, and Kimpurusas were also born to Pulaha. Pulaha represents the genitals. He took part in the Janmotsava of Arjuna and Murugan. Kratu is born out of Brahma's breath and named Apana. Vashist and his wife Arundhati were in possession of Kamadhenu. All the following are the Puranic names given to organs, suborgans, interconnectors, etc. Brahma also had 3 sons by Manas: Prachetas, Daksha; Bhrigu, wife Khyati, daughter of Karmada, Daksha; sons Data and Vidatta, Narada. Brahma also created Rudra, Sanat Kumara. Brahma further created Swayambhu Manu, zygote, epithelial tissues; Satarupa, neural tissues. Uttanapada's descendant, Prachina Varahi, had 10 sons called Prachetas. Prachetas created wind, Vayu, and fire, Agni. Prachetas married Marisha and had Daksha. Daksha's wife is Asikli, and they had 5,000 sons called Haryashvas, who set out to explore the world on the advice of Narada and never returned. Daksha and Asikli had another 60,000 sons called Shavalashvas, who went to explore the world on the advice of Narada, and they too never returned. Daksha wanted to kill Narada for the loss of his sons. Brahma tried to compromise with Daksha, and as per the agreement, Brahma married Priya, daughter of Daksha. Another arrangement was that Narada must be born as Priya's son. Daksha had another 60 daughters. Dharma married 10 daughters. They are Arundhati, Vasu, Yami, Lamba, Bhanu, Marutvadi, Sankalp, Muhurta, Sandhya, and Vishwa. Dharma is the representative of the human heart and blood circulation. Arundhati's children are called Vishaya of the world. Vasu had 8 children known as Vasus, 8 gods. Apa, Dhruva, Soma, Dara, Salila, and Anala had a son. Kumara, Pratyusha, and Prabhasa had a son. Vishwakarma, architect of the god. Sandhya's children were Sandhya Devas. Vishwa's children were Vishwadevas. Kashyap married 13 daughters. They are Aditi, Diti, Danu, Arista, Surasa, Kasa, Surabhi, Vinata, Tamara, Krodavasha, Ila, Kadru, and Muni. Aditi's sons are the 12 Adityas. They are Vishnu, Shakra, Aryama, Datta, Vidatta, Tvashta, Pusha, Vivasvana, Savita, Mitra Varuna, Amsha, and Baha. Ditti's sons are Daityas. They are Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Ditti had a daughter, Simhika, and she married a Danava. Danu is Simhika's mother's sister, called Viprachitti, Chittimukha, and Sertolisel. Offspring of Viprachitti and Simhika are Vatapi, Namuchi, Ilvala, Marisha, and Nivatakavashas. Some of the descendants are Vali and Vanasura. Note: Adityas and Daityas used to constantly fight with each other. Diti prayed to her husband, Kashyap, to give her a powerful son to defeat the Adityas. Kashyap agreed, but placed certain conditions. Indran, who is in Aditya, entered the womb of Diti and cut the fetus first into 7 parts and again into another 7 parts, total of 49 parts. These parts are known as Maruds. Danu's sons are Danavas. Some of the descendants are Paulamas and Kalakeyas. Arista's sons are known as Gandharvas, singers of heaven. Surasa gave birth to snakes, Sarpa. Kasa's children are Yakshas, companions of Kubera and Rakshasas. Surabhi's descendants are cows and buffaloes, may mean lactating lands. Vinata had 2 sons, Aruna and Garuda, king of birds, relating to hormone secretion. Tamara had 6 daughters. They are owls, eagles, vultures, crows, waterfowl, horses, camels, and donkeys. They are related to teeth and their structure. Krodavasha had 14,000 children known as Nagas. Ila gave birth to trees, creepers, shrubs, and bushes. It may refer to clusters of nerves, capillaries, etc. Kadru's sons are also known as Nagas, and some of them are Ananta, Vasuki, Takshaka, and Nahusha, may means ducts in human body. Muni gave birth to Apsaras, dancers of heaven, rhythmic contractions. Soma or Chandra married 27 daughters, nakshatras, everyday status, female reproductive system. Arishtinami, Vahaputra, Angirasa, and Krisheshva married the remaining 10 daughters.